Good afternoon, students. Welcome to example 5 of week 4. For this example, the plane wasn't specified, so I'm just picking the front plane. Okay, so this example looks quite complicated when you first look at it, but if you take it step by step, it's not going to be that difficult. So I'm going to start and I'm going to make this arc, this 115 millimeter radius arc. I'm going to start with that one, and I'm going to make its center point the center of my sketch, the sketch origin. So I'm just putting it in. It doesn't really matter exactly. Okay, it was on the wrong setting here. I'm just going to click arc, not profile. Okay, so I'm just putting in the dimension, and then I'm just roughly putting in the arc. Its exact position doesn't matter that much at the moment. Then I'm going to put in also while I'm like busy with the sketch, I have the reference sketch next to me, and then I'm just marking off when I put in a dimension so that I'm sure I put in everything that is given to me. Especially for a sketch like this where there's a lot of dimensions, it's good to just make sure that you don't miss something. Okay, then I'm going to put in the 91 millimeters radii arc, and that one is tangent to the 115 millimeter one at the topmost point. So I'm just going to start, and its exact center point isn't given. It's just in line with the 115 millimeter one. So I'm just going to put it in at the approximate place, and the dimension is 91, and then I'm just going to put it in, and it doesn't look exactly correct at the moment, but it's fine. I'm just going to move it a little bit, just downwards, and then I'm going to say these two arcs, they are tangent. Okay, and then I'm going to just this center point of the 91 millimeter arc, I'm just going to align it with the vertical axis. Okay, the menu didn't pop up now. Just try it again. There you go. Okay. Right. Then I'm going to put in the horizontal line of the windows, and just since these arcs that I already have are next to or on that line, so I'm just going to put in that line. So it starts on this one here, and then it just goes horizontally. Then I'm just going to say that these points all should be on this line. Okay. Just want to check that this point is correct. Yes. Okay. Then I just let the line stick out a bit on the left side here, since there's other arc that is going to be tangent to this one later, but I'm not going to do that right now. Then since I'm at the windows, I'm just going to continue. I'm going to insert this 72 millimeter arc. So the arc and its point is also in line with this axis, so I'm just going to put it roughly there. The dimension is 72, and its 2 points is also on this line, so I'm just going to put it on this line. Okay, this point didn't actually go on the line, so I'm just inserting it now. Okay, and then I'm also just going to align this center point with the axis. Okay. So then while I'm here, I'm going to put in those two lines of the window divider thingy. So I'm just going to roughly put them in. So something like this. Okay. Then so I'm going to say that they are parallel to each other, and then there's 2 or 3 dimensions for them. So firstly, it is the dimension between this point here and the sketch origin. So this dimension is 6 millimeters. Then the dimension between this bottom point here and also the sketch origin, so this is 9 millimeters. And then the dimension between these 2 points here, this is also 6 millimeters. Okay, and then I'm just quickly marking it that I put in those dimensions. Okay, then it doesn't look exactly correct, so I'm just going to move this line up a little bit, just so that it looks a little bit more like it is supposed to look. Okay, so next I'm going to make the wheel. So I'm just going to make one, and then I'm going to mirror it. So I'm just going to start with the right one. So the wheel has 2 circles. So the one is 22 millimeters, its radius, so diameter should be 44. And then the other one is 13 millimeters, so the diameter should be 26. Okay. Then with the wheels, there's also a dimension given of 65 millimeters, which is between this center point of the wheels and the stop tangent point. So I'm just going to select it and drag it like this and insert it, so it is 65 millimeters. Okay. Yeah. And then also there is also given that the dimension between this horizontal line here and also the center mark of the wheels, this dimension is 38. Okay, now I'm going to draw the inside of the wheel. So the very center is a polygon, a 6-sided polygon. So I'm just going to insert its midpoint is the midpoint here, and the dimension given is 7 millimeters between the 2 sides. So then based on how they define the radius for this polygon, it should be 3.5 millimeters. And then for the rotation, I just kind of move it until it's correct, so the rotation should be 0. Okay. You don't the polygon doesn't, you don't have to insert it using the feature, but it's the most simple way, because it's just, now it's there's just 2 dimensions defining it instead of like a lot when you insert it manually. Okay, then the lines extending from the polygon. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either just insert each one manually, or you can use the extend. But with the extend, there's going to be a problem. It's going to like throw away all your inherent constraints from the polygon if you do it this way. So for example, I just inserted it, and now there's all these dimensions that that is needed, which weren't needed. So this is not the best way to do it, so I'm not going to do it this way. I'm rather going to do the more manual way and just insert a bunch of lines. So they don't have to be exactly correct at the moment. I'm going to use constraints at the end. So I'm just extending them like this. Okay, that one did something weird. I'm just going to say Control Z. Just try again. Okay, so the lines are in, and now I'm going to select each of the pairs, and then I'm going to say they should be collinear. So I'm going to do this for each of the pairs of lines. Now for these two ones, you can also just say that they are vertical, since these lines are vertical, so no, it's the same thing essentially. Okay, so just to test whether my wheels are actually fully constrained, you can just like pull at them, all of the lines, and well, the only way it moves is in this dimension, nowhere else. So yeah, so basically I just need a dimension to constrain it in this direction, and there is one. It is this 63 millimeter that was given, so that's between the center point here and the sketch origin here, so that would be 63 millimeters. Okay, then the wheels are constrained. So now I can just pattern this wheel. So I'm not going to mirror it, since it's not the distance between the two wheels and the center point isn't the same. The one is 63 millimeters from the center point, the other one is 78. So you can't really mirror it. You can if you inserted a line that is like in the center of them, but that's just too much effort. It's just easier to use the pattern function. So I'm using the pattern one. I'm just going to have to select each and every one of these lines. Some of them they connect automatically. Okay, it looks like it's all of the lines. So then I'm going to say it should be linear, and my linear object is the horizontal axis. Then the distance that I'm going to want to pattern it is the 63 plus the 78, but then obviously in not this direction. So I'm just going to reverse the direction and say apply. Okay, so the two wheels are now in place. So now I'm going to first insert this line, that is the line that is between the two wheels, the bottommost one, and after that I'm going to just finish the back part of the car. But just first insert this line here, so its exact position doesn't matter at the moment. It accidentally made the line tangent, and I don't want it to be tangent, so I'm just going to select from list and the tangent constraint, and I'm going to delete it and just pull it up a little bit so it's more in the correct position, and then I'm just going to say this line should be horizontal. Okay, so then I'm going to do the back bumper part of the car. So I'm going to start with the 28 millimeter arc that goes here. So I'm just going to see its midpoint is approximately somewhere around here, so I'm just going to pick that point. The radius is 28, and then I'm going to say it should start on this line and just extend it to approximately there. Okay, and then there is a dimension given for the center point, so it is 5 millimeters from the center of the wheel. So I just picked up 2 points and insert the dimension 5 millimeters. Okay, then next to the this arc there is another arc which is 37.5 millimeters, and each center point is somewhere below like the midpoint of the arc. So I'm just going to pick a point there. I'm going to insert the dimension 37.5 and just insert the arc approximately. Okay, then I'm going to say this center point of this arc and the center point of the wheel should be vertically aligned. Okay, then I'm going to combine these 2 points and I'm going to make them tangent. Okay, and I'm just quickly marking off that I put in the dimensions. Okay, then there's a 14 millimeter arc that goes here, and its center point somewhere around there. So I'm just roughly putting it in place and saying this point should be there. So yeah, this point should be on this arc here. Okay, and these 2 points should actually touch, and they should also be tangent. Okay, then this 115 millimeter arc was supposed to extend past this line here. So I'm just going to see if the extend you can use the extend one, but then it's like creating a complete circle, which is a little irritating, not exactly what we want. So I'm just going to try a different method. I'm going to go from here, I'm going to pick the coincident constraint and just delete it, and then I'm just going to manually extend it, the line, and then I'm going to just put this line on this line again. Okay, now it's extended. Then I'm going to say this line and this line. I'm first going to actually extend this line so that so I made these 2 tangent, but I don't think should be, so I'm just first going to delete this tangent constraint, and I'm going to actually I think delete this coincident constraint as well. Okay. Okay. Then in the note in the sketch they say the 115 millimeter curve, which is this one, and the 14 millimeter one, they are tangent. So I'm first going to do that. I'm just going to put the 2 points on each other, and then I'm going to say they should be tangent. Okay, and then so instead of these 2 being tangent, this one is also tangent. So I'm just going to put this point on this arc, and I'm just going to also make them tangent. Okay, yes. Yeah, so the back part of the car is basically done. There's just 1 dimension left. So the dimension between from the center point of the 14 millimeter arc and the midpoint of the wheel So this is given as 6 millimeters. Okay, so the back part of the car is done now. So now I'm going to move to the front part. Okay, so there's this little line that extends here. So I'm going to first draw it, since there are 2 arcs connecting to it. Okay. Then I'm going to start with the 21 millimeter arc. So its center point is somewhere around here, so I'm just going to put it in there, and I'll connect the point of the arc after inserting it. So I'm just inserting it something like that. Then I'm just going to connect these 2 points. Okay, and they are very much not tangent, so yeah. Then there's a dimension given between this center point of this arc and the center point of the wheel. So it is given as 18 millimeters. Okay. Then there's a 46 millimeter arc that connects this arc and this line here. So I'm going to insert it. Its center point is here somewhere. So it's 46 millimeters. And I'm just going to insert it something like this. So its center point is supposed to be in line with the wheel center point. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, and I just marked off the dimensions that I put in. Okay, then I'm going to make these 2 points 1 point, and then these 2 arcs should be tangent. Then I also didn't do exactly what I wanted it to do. I want to make these 2 points also 1 point. And they should also be tangent. Okay. Then the next curve is a 24 millimeter arc. So its center point is somewhere around here. So it's 24 millimeters. And I'm just going to insert it like this. And this one's also on this point here. Then the dimension to its center point is also given. So between this point here and the center of the wheel, so the dimensions should be 12 millimeters. Okay. So then the next arc is 36 millimeters, and its center point is somewhere around here. So it's 36, and I'm just putting in something like this. Okay, and once again just combining these 2 points and making them tangent. Then there's also a dimension given for its center point. So it is 4 millimeters. I just have to find its center point. It's this one, and between the center of the wheel, so 4 millimeters. Okay. Then there's still 1 arc left, so it's 30 millimeters, and its center point is somewhere here. So 30, and I'm just going to say also it should end on this line here. Okay. Then its center point should also be vertically in line with the center of the wheel, and then these 2 points should be 1 point, and the arcs should be tangent. Okay, so the front part of the car is then done. There's just one dimension left. There was a dimension given for this line, so basically between this line and the center of the wheel, so it should be 5 millimeters. Okay, now there's only just a few things that's still missing from the sketch. So there are 2 more horizontal lines on the doors here, so I'm going to insert them. And they put in parallel constraints, but I'd rather just not put in parallel constraints and just say that these lines are horizontal. Okay, like that. Then so there are a few dimensions for these lines. So the dimension between these two yes, between the bottom two, that is 3 millimeters, and the dimension between the top two is 5 millimeters. Okay, then also it isn't very clearly on the sketch, but yeah, so the line, this one here and this one here, is actually in line with each other. So yeah, if you look closely, you'll see, like, yes, they are actually in line. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'm just going to make them collinear. Okay, then there's still a line missing here for the door, so I'm just going to insert it just somewhere around here, and I don't know why it wants to make it like that, so I'm just going to move it a little bit. Okay, then it's given a dimension of 3 millimeters between this point and this point, and then also between the end point here and the center of the sketch. So this distance is 6 millimeters. Okay, then also this arc that we put in, like at the beginning, its dimension is also given its center point's dimensions given relative to this bottom line. So between the center of the arc, this arc, and this line is 4 millimeters. Okay, and then yeah, so I see that I put in all the dimensions, and also from my sketch I can see it is fully constrained, so then it is finished. So I just click finish, and yeah, this is then the end. So yeah, what just is helpful for this example is just to make sure to highlight each dimension after you put it in the sketch, so you know it's in, and yeah, then you add, when you come at the end and you highlighted all of the dimensions, then it should be constrained if you also put in all of the correct tangent points and all of that at the correct positions. So I hope you try this example and can do it, and yeah, good luck with the rest of the examples.